Right, man in boxing, led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV. Woo!
All right, man. Deontay Wilder will be going head up October 15th with Devin Haney and George Gamposo to the rematch. Now, obviously, we know Wilder and Helenius should be way more action-packed than Gamposo and Haney too. But the catch is Gamposo and Haney 2 is going to be live on regular ESPN. Deontay Wilder taking on Robert Helenius is going to be on pay-per-view, which is not a pay-per-view, pay-per-view event. Neither was Charles Martin Ortiz, neither was Chris Arreola, Andy Ruiz, and neither was Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, or Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz too. Right? They should be getting a exposure on free TV or premium cable network like Showtime, bare minimum. But now Deontay Wilder has a new foe to go up against, and that's Jake Paul. Now, you wondering, how can Showtime do 2 pay-per-views? Well, it won't be 2 pay-per-views, okay? Anderson Silva and Jake Paul will be on Showtime, and Deontay Wilder and Robert Helenius will be on Fox PBC or Fox pay-per-view. Now, at the end of the day, I think this is a good question. You know, will Jake Paul and Anderson Silva outsell Deontay Wilder and Robert Helenius? You know, and when you think about it, people are going to have the free option to watch Devin Haney with your network television package. If it's, you know, with Sling, Xfinity, whatever, AT&T, Wow, whatever you with, Spectrum, it's part of your package. Or even if you got ESPN Plus, it's part of your package. You know, people can sit here and say, well, I'm going to support Deontay Wilder, I'm going to spend $80, but then you turn around and you see the real pay-per-view numbers, it's around $100K or less. You know, Wilder, Tank Davis, Errol Spence have these rabid fan bases on the social media, but when it's time to put the money in the collection plate, don't none of them put the money in the collection plate. Now, I'm real with you. I'm going to let you know if I buy something, if I don't buy it. I'm going to be real. People say, well, you will never buy nothing, because I know what real pay-per-views used to look like. De La Hoya Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? What Cotto and Shane Mosley, I believe, was on pay-per-view. Floyd and Shane, that was a good pay-per-view. Floyd and Ricky Hatton. You know, you go on and on. I done bought a few of Mike Tyson's. I remember my grandmother bought Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield when he bit his ear off. So I think it was the second fight. You know, so I didn't spend my money. I didn't spend, my parents, my grandparents' money, or whatever it is. I didn't got these pay-per-views. And when it's worth something paying for, I don't mind paying for it. So that's the real rap. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in just paying $200 for a pair of Jordan shoes, or a pair of shoes in general. If I always wanted them and I want them, then and they worth my money, then cool. If they not, they not. Because most of the time, you get older, you start looking at the material and all that type of stuff. But I just think in this situation, Silva got a name, Jake Paul got a name, and Jake Paul pay-per-view numbers ain't been doing too good. And on October 29th, I think Jake Paul just might be going up against Lomachenko. But if Lomachenko fight that day versus Jermaine Ortiz, the catch is Lomachenko will be on ESPN Plus, not regular ESPN. Believe it or not, there's still a lot of people who don't know how ESPN Plus work. Right? It's not. And ESPN Plus is really, when you talk about combat sports, I think any sport, ESPN Plus is more used by UFC fans than anybody. Because most of their pay-per-views are directly through ESPN Plus. They cut out the cable networks. So, at the end of the day, Jake Paul and Silva got some things going for it. With Fox one foot out the door and the other a half a foot in boxing and the other half of the foot out the door. Are they really doing premium marketing. I don't remember seeing too much for the Areola and Luis Ortiz fight at all. So I think Jake Paul gonna have a bigger machine behind him. Jake Paul is going to sell the fight. Wilder Helenius, they did a press conference. I did not see it. I did hear that they weren't in attendance. People already complaining about the undercard, which I don't really think the undercard had bad. I mean, I think Darrell and Caleb Plant is a real fight. I think Darrell can knock him out. I think that's what I'm a pick. Caleb Plant been in Philly for a while. Even before the Bredman thing was announced, I knew he was in Philly. I couldn't say nothing at all. But obviously, I heard they've been welcoming him to Philly too. And he learned to hold his ground and be more aggressive. But obviously, when the fire get hot, he gonna move. But if he sit there and he get hit by Anthony Darrell, he going to sleep. I tell you that right now. He going to sleep. So I mean, I forget who all on the cover. That's a good co-feature in my opinion. You know, but Silva is a legend. He beat a real boxer in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Say what you want to say. Jake Paul, he promotes the fight. He promote a fight better than Wilder promote fights. Better than Helenius promote his fight. So I think that Jake Paul and Anderson Silva with Showtime behind them and them, for what we know right now, being 10 toes down in the sport of boxing, which I don't know what video I'm gonna put up first, but y'all know y'all see it. But I think Silva and Jake Paul gonna outsell Wilder and Helenius. Helenius is an unknown. Yeah, he beat Adam Kanowski and all that, man. This is a glorified tune-up fight for Deontay Wilder on pay-per-view. Which Deontay Wilder should get back to his roots and get his fight to the fans on free TV. That's how he built his fan base. Fighting on free TV, knocking cats out. And now everybody got an ego. But if people really start, unveiling the numbers, you know what I'm saying? The egos will be taken all the way down. But Jake Paul gonna sell the fight. Anderson Silva beat a real boxer already. He's considered, maybe if not, the greatest MMA fighter right there with John Jones. Maybe now people look at the John Jones situation with the test above him. At least top 5 for sure. And Jake Paul gonna sell the fight. And we seen Anderson Silva is a really good boxer. And people see 50 years old and all that. A lot smaller than Hussein Rahman. That's true. But I think Anderson Silva is going to win. And in my opinion, Jake Paul and Anderson Silva is the more intriguing fight. I don't know what the card going to look like, but it's the more intriguing fight. And Showtime going to promote it a lot better, and Jake Paul going to promote it a lot better. Trust me. And I think this fight for him might lead to that KSI fight. In a home and away, and in UK and America. And KSI following on YouTube is bigger than Jake Paul's. That dude got multiple million sub pages. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I just, out of these 4 men up here, Helenius is by far the lesser known man. By far. By far. And Jake Paul, they want him to be this big white new Rocky Marciano so bad that I just really think, everything working against Wilder as far as Haney and all that on regular ESPN. I just think Silva and Jake Paul, if Jake Paul go through with the fight, I think it's gonna sell more. I think that's a real fight. I think that's a real fight. I'm more intrigued about that fight than the Wilder Helenius fight. Honestly, I mean, people trying to sell the Wilder like, oh, Helenius a tough man. Helenius just caught Kanowski at the right time. Kanowski just took so many punches. That was his defense and his offense, taking punches. I really think Anderson Silva can end this hype train. I watched him fight Julio Cesar Chavez. It wasn't that it was Julio Cesar. I was looking at his coordination. The first thing I look at with a fighter is the feet. That base. That's the first thing I look at is that base. And he got great balance, great rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Then you start looking at other things, you know, his where he hold his hands, his fundamentals, where his chin at, you know what I'm saying? How his shoulders is, do he square up? You know, and that dude is man, he really could have been a solid fighter, boxer. Boxing Rec don't always tell the story. I mean, go look at Watch Some Channel and look what Greg Hackett always show. It don't even tell half the story. Jake Paul can be in real trouble. And this dude, his sons is keeping him young. I watch their videos that be on social media. His sons is keeping him young. I just think it's more intrigue there. And it's nothing against Deontay Wilder. He deserved a fight against Robert Helenius, just not on my dime. Now, I ain't buying the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight neither. And nor will I buy Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Tank Davis. But I will buy Crawford and Spence. Yeah, I will buy that one. So, you know, and there's a couple other fights that I will buy. Haney Tank, Haney Shakur Tank. There's a few of them out there, but I think you know, Jake Paul, you know, the only advantage Wilder got is before the Jake Paul fight. That's it. But let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. Go live and drop a video. Financially want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, the whole 9, Apple Podcasts. Let me know what you think in the comment section one time for the one time. Y'all know what the business is. Peace.